Dude, the Reverend Roundhouse is such an unexpected option in the whole, like, single cutaway dual humbucker thing. At first glance, it just looks like another Les Paul wannabe, and let's be real, there's like a kabillion of those, right? But if you stop for a second, pick it up, give it just a little attention, I think you will see what I see now. And that's that Gibson should be scared as shit that there's companies like this that are making such good examples of what is basically based on their flagship design. Today I'm here to offend, defend, and lovingly showcase this shockingly good example on a classic design from Reverend Guitars. I'm borrowing this one from Flipside Music in Denver. And if you like what you see, maybe you can go buy it from him, you nerd. My name is Zach. Welcome to Audibly Dumb. So I only like making videos on things that I think are awesome, right? And this is not something I generally gravitate towards. I like bolt-on necks, single coil pickups, fenders, okay? I like fenders, I'm a fender guy. With that in mind, I only picked this thing up because I was bored. Flipside lets me borrow pretty much whatever I want, and this was just kind of sitting there. My first impressions? This thing's lighter than Emma Watson after a cleanse, bro. I'm serious. Gold tops just look heavy. These look like boat anchors. You take one look at this and you immediately think to yourself, thank God I found that chiropractor. That's not the case here. It's almost like Reverend Guitars wants you to be inspired to play this classic looking design while also having superior playability and comfortability. Crazy, right? Overall vibe is this, dog. If you really love vintage instruments, especially the whole Les Paul single cutaway set neck thing, if that's your vibe, but you also value comfy weight guitars that stay in tune and not having to sell your entire Furby collection to pay for it, Reverend's coming in hot with the Roundhouse. Instruments that have some more modern build qualities are objectively just better and more fun to play. One man's opinion, but I think a lot of people agree with me on that. That said, if you're also like me and you love the hard rock, heavy metal British invasion of doom from the 1960s and you'd like a guitar that matches that look, all I can say is thank you for thinking about us and keeping us included, Reverend. Yeah, no one talks about this guitar, and I'm getting madder and madder about that every second I think about it. Classic headstock, minimal logo, 3 pegs on each side. Love to see it, really classic looking thing. But then look at the headstock angle. It's a little bit further tilted back than I personally enjoy, but it's still going to be more stable than Gibson's design, which is pretty sick because I don't know about you, I like when I can have a guitar that doesn't shatter into a million pieces when I stare at it too long. Locking tuners, bro. Locking tuners. They just want you to be happy. They want us to be happy and they want us to stay in tune. Real simple there. You wake up on Christmas, you slide down the banister, you eat shit at the bottom of the stairs, you run around the corner, there's the Christmas tree, and underneath that tree is everything you've ever wanted. That's what this is. I guess I'm saying Reverend Guitars is Christmas. This is a Carina neck with a rosewood board. You got a medium oval neck shape, 22 medium jumbo frets, a 12-inch radius, as well as that classic 24 3/4-inch scale length made famous by Gibson. I was actually expecting a mahogany neck on this, as I'm sure you were as well, but the fact this is Carina, despite the fact it does nothing for the tone, eat it, Tonewood nerds, it does do something for the vibe though, and the vibe's what I'm all about. There's zero fret snag whatsoever when I'm doing my tasteful slides. Nothing gets caught up there at all, and the finish on the back of the neck is beautifully done. I'm gonna say this bluntly. If you think Gibson design qualities are really, really comfortable, but you want to save yourself about $9 million, go with one of these instead. I've owned Les Pauls before. I've owned Custom Shop. I've owned everything you can think of. I have owned it. And I'm telling you right now, this guitar right here is just as good as any Les Paul that I've personally owned. And like I said, I've owned a bunch of them. This thing is fucking crazy. Now, I said I was going to offend this thing, but so far, I haven't had a reason to. I can't. Yet. I'm gonna roast the boomers here in a second, but first let's hear some clean tones. I'm going through the Fender Princeton Reverb, volume at 2.5, basses at 3, trebles at 7, reverbs at 4. I wasn't there, but I imagine when they were designing this guitar, there was a meeting that went something like this. We need something for Les Paul lovers, people with lawyer's taste on a barista budget. Dude, this is a carved maple top. Look at the dish that's going around that thing. I hope the camera can pick that up okay. It's fucking beautiful. And this is on a Carina body with a tummy cut, dude. You'll also notice the body is noticeably slimmer here than a Les Paul, which makes sense considering this guitar is 7.6 pounds. I'm gonna say that one more time. This is a single cutaway, dual humbucker, dad rock gold top of destruction and doom, and it only weighs 7.6 pounds. As insane as that is, they have to cut costs somewhere, so unfortunately in this price point, you don't get any binding. Oh wait! Not only do you get binding all the way around the body, it also goes up both sides of the neck and then wraps around the headstock. Crazy, bro. It's almost like when Gibson charges extra for binding, it's both unnecessary and predatory or something. Tune-o-matic bridge, maximum comfort, I've said it before. When it's done right, this is the most comfortable bridge type, and it's done right with this one. And now the main roast of this instrument, the overall judgment of playing a gold top guitar. When you decide to wear something like this, people automatically assume that your house is paid off, your 401k is amazing, and Joe Bonamassa is your hero. Now, you may sound and play amazing, but just know that we're all judging the dog shit out of you, Phil. Moving on to the pickups, they sound absolutely amazing, like genuinely. One of the first things I look to change in a guitar is the pickups. If I were to buy this thing right now, I would not feel the need to go look at some Seymour Duncans. I may put them in there eventually, but right now, I am more than happy with the way these things sound. Fucking awesome. 3-way switch, single volume, single tone, average savage. But then we get that bass contour knob that Reverend is so famous for having. If you didn't see my Reverend Double Agent video, I'll put that right up there, but I made some comments about the bass contour. Not really my thing, I would never really use it, except for when I tried it on this guitar. We know vintage tones as being like these big walls of sound, right? Good round bass response. Go back and separate some of those tones out in a mix, right? And you will be amazed at how thin some of those sounds are. It just sounds really full when it's in a mix. This control does that for this guitar on the fly, so without using the bass contour, it just sounds like a super thick Les Paul type guitar. Twist that knob off, especially with some overdrive, and you immediately get those classic tones that we've heard on records. That sounded kind of salesy, and I'm sorry, but literally it's the only time I've used the bass contour on a Reverend guitar and been immediately like, yes, that right there, yes, we want that. Alright squad, let's go get some tones. I'm going to be running my Helix to the front end of the Princeton with the settings that you saw earlier. Anything you hear from modulation to distortion is coming from the Helix. I'll be sure to put on the screen what is being played when. than the Rock on a cheat day, bro. This thing is literally everything you need and nothing you don't. Except a telly. You definitely need a telly. It's lightweight, it rocks like nothing else, and it's easy to justify the price point without having to ask yourself, do I really need to buy food this week? Although I can't keep it, maybe you can, homie. Serial number 47893. I am not an affiliate of Flipside Music. They're just a dope local music store in Denver that lets me borrow gear to make videos with. And this particular guitar is actually 10% off right now because it's being featured in this video, so if you give them a call or shoot them an email and include serial number 47893, if the guitar is still available, you will get 10% off. Just mention this video. Once again, I get paid nothing for this. That being said, just know that if you do buy this thing, you are buying one of the single most badass Reverends that they have in their store. I never take home something they tell me to take home. I only take home things that I think are dope that I want to do a video on, and this definitely falls into that category. My name is Zach, this has been Audibly Dumb, thank you so much for watching, and as always, if I say something's cool, it's 'cause it fucking is.